I 29 male found out about my girlfriend 31 female of 11 years affair and I am struggling to cope. My girlfriend and I have been together for 11 years and have one lovely kid who is 7 years old, as well as another child who is 15 years old from a prior relationship. We met when I was 18 years old, and I took on the burden of raising my stepdaughter as if she were my own. Our relationship, like many others, has had its ups and downs. I was in my early 20s and had never been in a long-term relationship. I made errors and she made a lot more. However, I have been an honest, loyal, and loving partner for the previous 5 years. I determined 2 years ago to be as unselfish and compassionate to everyone around me as possible. I had certain things happen in my life at the beginning of the year that put me in a really bad place. Extremely depressed. She was ideal in the beginning since she was always there for me. She created me a calendar to remind me every day how much she cared for me, and she got me a few sentimental items that helped me get through the tough times. I haven't felt like myself in 10 months, and I have admittedly retreated, but it was in the darkest times that I realized I wanted to spend the rest of my life with this lady, and I began to arrange my proposal. My partner was furloughed for the most of the lockdown, but she finally found a new job that made her happy. My fiancée began to drift away from me in the beginning of October. She no longer stated she loved me, no longer embraced or kissed me, and I began to have doubts. I spent time working on myself and our connection. When I was nearby, she would conceal her phone or swiftly depart WhatsApp. However, she began coming to the gym at the end of October, and one night her class was delayed for hours after she finished work. She said that she would wait outside until the lesson began. It made no sense to me. When I contacted her after work, she said she was in the vehicle, but her explanation was that she was working late at work and rushing to complete things before going to the gym. I activated Locate My iPhone to learn she wasn't where she claimed to be. She was standing outside another man's home. I asked her about it and she lied, first claiming she was at work, then saying she was going to have a short cup of tea before class, until I finally disclosed that I knew precisely where she was because of the tracker. She complained that I had violated her privacy and that I was some weirdo for following her every move, but she soon admitted that she was there to meet another guy. She had an affair with a guy at her new work. I invited her to come home and speak about it, but she declined and instead switched off her phone. After our chat, she invited him into her vehicle, and they went to a nearby park and spent hours together. I walked over to his home and discovered that they were not there. When I recounted the scenario to his father, his sole answer was sounds about right. He does this. She drove to her mother's home after that, continuing sending him loves and apologizing for going around to his house with emoticons. We eventually chatted, and she showed me the few messages she hadn't yet deleted. He was chuckling about how I nearly found out about their romance a few days before when she believed I was looking through her phone. I had not had chance to do this yet. When I called him and informed him about how he was harming a 7-year-old daughter, he smiled and could only answer, "I'm not doing anything illegal. I am a one-man band." We ultimately decided that she would ban him from everywhere and that she should quit her new job to focus on us. She revealed some of the other challenges we were dealing with, one of which being money. She would never tell me what type of financial situation she was in. She finally admitted to me that she was 400 overdrawn, with another 300 on the way. I was a fool who fell for the notion that she was finally telling the truth and gave her the 700. After a short time, she unblocked me from all sources and unblocked him. I had begged her to go to counseling, but she refused since she couldn't afford it. She spent the 700 to rent a hotel room with the guy with whom she had an affair, which costs the same as counseling. She claims that the previous 11 years have been a nightmare for her, and that I haven't loved her or shown her enough attention. This is not correct. I'm a naturally loving person who lavished her with attention. I'd had a terribly bad 10 months, but I was finally beginning to feel better about myself. She calls me a narcissist, and we have a lot of talks. Refuses joint custody. Last week though, I had my daughter with me 5/7 nights since she wanted to visit this guy instead. I left every discussion feeling that everything was my fault, that I was useless, and that I should have done more during the preceding year. She refused to sit down with the children to explain what was going on because it needed to be done with her so she could calm her children and not feel abandoned. However, due to the fact that I have my kid virtually every night, this is difficult. It's not fair to her. She's asking precise questions about what cheating is. I also wondered why I should have to feel as though I had abandoned her. Why should we agree to it on her terms? These decisions were made by her, not mine. To top it all off, I found out yesterday that the guy she's chosen has a drug problem to the point that he's not allowed to visit his current children and recently abandoned his ex because he got her pregnant and refused to abort their kid. Sorry if this is confusing or all over the place. My brain is a mess right now. There is a lot more, but I believe this is sufficient. Is there anybody who can give me some advice? Story 2. How do I get over my cheating ex? I, 32 male, and my girlfriend, 27 female, had been dating for almost 2 years, and I just found out she cheated on me 4 days ago. I'm now in a different nation from her. Owing to COVID, I haven't been allowed to return, but I intend to as soon as circumstances clear up. I had a feeling something was up since this man has been commenting on all of her Facebook posts and images for the last several months. In the first week of November, I eventually questioned her about him, and she insisted they were just friends. But that piqued my interest, and I began stalking his page, where I discovered that he continued tagging her in all of his postings. And the conversations they conduct there seemed to be highly flirtatious. When I approached her again, she assured me it was all in my head. The man is from her hometown and knows her relatives. But something in the back of my mind kept telling me that there was something amiss. We debated about it for a long time, but I was still not persuaded. In retrospect, it's impossible to imagine your partner falling in love with someone else. You can witness the steady development of their affections for one other. I discovered the truth 4 days ago, when I saw my girlfriend had uploaded a snapshot of a vista on her Facebook page. I immediately went to his profile, as I had done since suspecting anything, and saw that he had submitted a photo of the same scene at the same time. My heart had just stopped beating. And then I saw he was live on Facebook, and when I went to look at it, he was showcasing the view, and next to him was my girlfriend. When I confronted her about it, she eventually revealed the truth. She said they had on his birthday because she was inebriated. That was on September 30th, and they haven't stopped since. She said that she had no idea why Shy did it, and she had no idea how to tell me. She said that we had a big fight in October, which worried her. And since she wasn't sure whether I'd return to her, she continued seeing him. I have her blocked on everything, but I've been a shambles since then. I really don't know how to go over this. I can't quit imagining them together. I'm baffled as to how she could do this to me. I don't comprehend her logic. I'm not sure how I could have been so naive. Every day, I have a million questions flowing through my thoughts. How did you overcome this? I'm 32 years old and have never experienced anything like this. I just need assistance in moving forward.